Dear Sagittarius, have you ever felt like your family never truly understood who you really are? That you were the one most overlooked, yet the one holding the most extraordinary destiny? Sagittarius, listen to this with your whole heart. The universe is preparing a reversal so profound, even you will be left in awe. Ascension doesn't come from luck, it comes from destiny. And what you're about to step into is the greatest success you've ever known, one your family never even imagined. And today, I'm here to tell you, if you are a Sagittarius, this video is not a coincidence. It is a calling from the most sacred truth within you. Write in the comments, I'm ready to become the surprise of my family, because that declaration is not just a sentence, it's a spiritual contract with the universe, an act that awakens the flow of success waiting to pour into your life. And if you think this is just a coincidence, wait until you understand the full portrait of Sagittarius, a soul god prepared to shine at the moment no one expected. There is a kind of soul that can never be at peace when trapped in limitations. That is Sagittarius. There is a kind of light that always demands to break through the dark. That too is Sagittarius. And there is a kind of destiny not born to repeat the old, but to carve the path for what has never been. Once again, that is you. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is not just a symbol of luck, as many believe. It is the ancient emblem of sacred knowledge, expanded consciousness, and most importantly, a mission that surpasses what others think you are capable of. Jupiter does not operate like a hand that randomly gives fortune. It only unlocks blessings when you dare to step forward, even if your own family turns away, doubts you, or abandons you. Luck does not fall from the sky. It is the reward for those brave enough to live truthfully, in a world that's grown comfortable with pretending. And no one understands this more deeply than a Sagittarius. The image of Sagittarius, half human, half beast, is not a symbol of division. It is the union of soul and instinct, of heaven and earth. You are both philosopher and warrior. You can reflect like a sage and act like a fearless soldier. We do not need to choose between soul and survival. Sagittarius shows us you can live as you are without asking the world's permission. If you've ever felt like you were too much for your family, drop a Sagittarius symbol in the comments. It's not that you're wrong, it's that you were made to be different. These aren't just keywords that describe Sagittarius, they are the sacred codes of your destiny. Truth is the pain you can no longer ignore. Faith is the weapon you wield when all you have is your own heart. Journey is how you heal the unnamed cracks in your life. Philosophy is the vow you made with your soul, not to live in vain. Freedom is not just the ability to travel, but the right to live as you truly are. Have you ever forced yourself to live how others wanted, just to be accepted? But Sagittarius was never born to be accepted. You were born to lead. In ancient astrology, Sagittarius was known as the torchbearer. When darkness falls, this soul does not sit still. They rise, walk ahead, ignite the flame, and return to guide others out of the maze. Perhaps in your family, you were the first to say no to what was wrong, the first to leave the comfort zone, the first to be misunderstood. You don't need to be understood right away, because the sunflower does not bloom at night, but it still knows the light will come. And perhaps you don't realize, the one your family called unrealistic might be the one who saves them from a cycle that's repeated for generations. I'll explain more of this soon. In ancient Greece, there was a legend of Chiron, an immortal centaur, a healer and teacher. He wasn't just wise, he was willing to carry pain to help others heal. Even though he was immortal, Chiron chose to give up his life to save another soul. Sagittarius is not only strong in action, but in the ability to sacrifice for something greater than ego, for truth, for love, for light. If you've ever silently sacrificed for your family and never been recognized, write, I am a Sagittarius soul, and I remember my strength. Sagittarius carries the energy of the future. Family often represents the past, tradition, memory. When these two energies collide, misunderstanding is almost inevitable, but it's that very tension that creates the necessary push for you to shape yourself. Sometimes the first rejection in life is the clearest sign. You weren't born to fit in, you were born to change things. Have you ever felt isolated because your dreams were too big? Tell me about a time you were called crazy, but chose to keep going anyway. You weren't born to be easily accepted. You were born to become the lighthouse. And sometimes the lighthouse must stand alone, so it can shine for everyone else. No one truly understands you while you're still in the dark. But the moment your light breaks free, the world will come looking for you. Right? I'm ready to be seen in my true light. The words may seem small, but they are the activation of a mighty destiny. Now you understand why you've always felt different. But that's only the beginning. Next, I will reveal the astrological movements of 2025 that are silently guiding you forward. If you are a Sagittarius, living in silence, working quietly, stay with me, because Jupiter, Chiron, and the upcoming full moon are calling you to rise, and you will no longer be the forgotten one, but the chosen surprise of the divine. There are changes that don't make a sound, but are strong enough to shift an entire lifetime. And 2025 is exactly that kind of year for Sagittarius. You don't need to run faster than others. You only need to step at the right time, in the right direction, and aligned with the true light within you. Let me guide you through 3 major astrological events, like 3 gates opening, inviting you into the most unforgettable journey of your life. In the birth chart, the MC, medium coeli, is the highest point, symbolizing your soul's mission, your reputation, and how the world sees you. When Jupiter, the planet of expansion, forms a harmonious trine with this point, it's like a whisper from the heavens saying, it's time to step out. The world is ready to see you. Dear Sagittarius, you have planted seeds in silence for so long. You've studied, healed, endured, when no one knew, and now is the time when flowers will bloom in places you least expect. True success is not loud or boastful. It's the moment you step into the light, not to prove anything, but simply to be fully, unapologetically yourself. If you are standing before a new opportunity, even a small one, write in the comments, I'm ready to open my door. Because the moment you say yes to the universe, the opportunity will find you. Chiron, the asteroid of soul wounds, returns to the 4th house, the house of family, ancestors, and childhood emotions. You may begin to remember old things, words that hurt, moments that made you doubt your worth. But here is the sacred truth. Chiron doesn't come to reopen pain. It comes so you can finally see that you are no longer the helpless child you once were. Maybe your family couldn't see you, but that doesn't mean you had no value. You've always had value. It's just that your light hadn't reached its time to be recognized. When you heal within, you don't just free yourself. You also begin to heal the generations who once hurt you because they too were once wounded. If you've ever felt not good enough because of where you came from, right? I am already whole and I choose to let go. That's the beginning of a new life, one not chained to the past. A full moon is always the moment when truth is illuminated, and when it creates an opposition between Gemini and Sagittarius, the axis of knowledge, communication, and self-expression, a sacred gift inside you, will finally be revealed. Maybe you've been a storyteller, an artist, a writer, a poet, a creator, but no one ever acknowledged it. Maybe you were called useless, delusional, a dreamer. But this full moon will shine light on that gift like a divine mark. True talent doesn't need permission. It only needs your belief and your action. When you dare to reveal the part of you that has long been covered in dust, it is your family, the ones who once doubted, who will be astonished. And perhaps they'll start to believe in themselves because of you. Right, I allow my gift to step into the light. That is the first approval you ever needed from yourself. One who brings the light, one who opens the path, one who redefines success, not just for themselves, but for their entire family. You are about to discover why you, a Sagittarius full of contradictions and light, are holding the key to change the fate of your entire bloodline. And what's waiting for you is not just recognition, but healing for generations. There are children who grow up in homes filled with laughter, yet feel deeply lonely inside. There are people who are always present, but never truly seen. And then one day, they become the very person who makes the entire family stop and ask, why didn't we ever believe in her? Why didn't we ever truly listen to him? If you're a Sagittarius, I believe you understand that feeling more than anyone. It's not because you didn't try. It's not because you weren't good enough. It's because you were born to shine at a moment no one could ever predict. In astrology, The axis of the 4th and 10th houses Pyramis is the axis of roots and social destiny. The 4th house is family memory, the quiet things that shape your emotions. The 10th house is career, your public role, the place where you are either seen or forgotten. When Jupiter and other major planets touch these 2 points, something unusual begins to happen. You enter a realm of success, not to seek revenge, but to show that you've always had the light. Maybe you once sat in a room where everyone said you were just dreaming, but it's that very dream that will one day feed this family. It's the child they pushed aside, who ends up building a new home. You may have tried everything right to earn approval. You studied, you behaved, you endured, and still, they didn't see you, because your light hadn't bloomed yet. And flowers, as you know, do not bloom before their time. True success is not about proving you're worthy of love. It's about knowing you've always had worth, even when no one saw it. Have you ever been underestimated? Share that moment, not to complain, but to remind someone out there they are not alone. Sometimes, your memory is the light for another soul. Some children are born as reminders from heaven that this generation needs someone stronger, more honest, more sincere, to heal what their ancestors forgot. If you've ever felt like you don't belong here, you're always different, you don't understand why life keeps testing you, then maybe you are the soul sent here to become the surprise of this family. Not through rebellion, but through awakening. You don't need your family to understand you right now. You only need to be strong enough to become the witness of transformation. Write in the comments, "I am the gift my family never expected." That is how you affirm your sacred worth, without waiting for anyone's approval. And you know what? When people like you begin to step into the light, they don't just succeed. They open the way for their entire family to heal and grow. In the next part, I'll show you why the soul mission of Sagittarius in the new era is not just about career. It's about leading an entire bloodline. There are things you once thought were burdens that are actually the legacy of light you'll leave behind for the next generation. Tell me, have you ever felt like the only different one in your family? Are you willing to be the first to break the old cycle? Not everyone is born to lead, but you, Sagittarius, are one of the very few God trusted with the light to go ahead. Not because you are perfect, but because you are brave enough to live authentically in a world addicted to pretending. We are entering an age where truth can no longer be hidden, where light is no longer a distant dream, but a silent calling in the heart of every soul. But not everyone dares to listen, because to follow the light, you must leave safety behind. You must walk away from the crowd, step into solitude, and believe in what you cannot yet see. And that is exactly why this era needs you. In astrology, Sagittarius is not just a traveler. You are the one who carries the soul's fire through the darkest lands and leaves light for others to follow. When others lose faith, you still believe. When others stay silent, you speak the truth. When everything collapses, you're the first to rise and say, there is still a way forward. You may not have anyone walking beside you on the first journey, but you are not alone, because every step you take opens the path for those who come after. If you've ever felt like you're ahead of your time, write this: I am the torchbearer. Because those words aren't just a statement, they are a resonance with a soul that always knew this was true. Many people think a life purpose must be something grand and dazzling, but for Sagittarius, purpose is simple. Live truthfully, believe in what is good, and keep planting light. Even if no one sees, no one claps, no one validates. What you plant today might bloom in another generation, and that is already a miracle. Are you living in alignment with the fire inside you? Are you keeping that light to yourself, or have you begun to share it? Tell me, I choose to keep shining, even if no one sees yet. Sometimes a whisper like that is all it takes to activate an entirely new destiny. Take a moment to pause and ask yourself, if you hadn't walked through that pain, if you hadn't endured those misunderstandings, would you have the depth you do now? You weren't born to blend in. You are the one who dared to leave a stable job and start from zero, who dared to move forward even when your whole family tried to hold you back, who dared to live truthfully even when it meant giving up every comfort. You were designed to lead, with kindness, with wisdom, with light that pours from your heart. You are the first in your bloodline to understand. Pain is not something to power through. It's something to heal. And you, yes, you are the bridge for generations to step into a new age. And if you think this is the destination, not yet. There's still one more door opening ahead. Your sacred gift. The one God placed in your heart long before you were born. The one you may have forgotten or hidden away out of fear of being mocked. I will help you remember. What sacred talent lies dormant inside you, and how can we awaken it at the right time, in the right way, to not only change your life, but the lives of those you love most? True success doesn't begin outside. It begins the moment you remember who you are, and accept that your soul did not come here to live a small life. It's time to return to the deepest part of yourself, where your talents, your promises, your seeds of light have been quietly waiting. Each day, set aside 10 minutes to write. What used to make you feel happy as a child? What did you do naturally, with no effort? What are you afraid to express, but secretly know is the truest part of you? Write, without worry for right or wrong. Write, without needing it to be beautiful. Just write truthfully. Because when you write, you are calling your soul back home. You are not writing to remember. You are writing to wipe the dust of time off a forgotten dream. If you're willing to try, leave this in the comments. I am reopening the door within me. Sometimes a sentence like that is all it takes for the journey to begin. Choose a quiet place, close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and whisper this affirmation. No rush, just belief. I am the sacred surprise my family never saw coming. Repeat it 7 times. Feel your breath. Listen to the whisper in your heart. And when you open your eyes, you will feel something has shifted. Not the world out there, but the way you see yourself. No one else needs to believe it first, except you. Because once you believe, the world will start to believe too. Record how you feel after each meditation. That is the emotional map guiding you back to who you truly are. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is not a planet that waits for opportunity. It expands through movement, through sharing, through radiating, through sincere action. Each day, do one small thing that carries the energy of expansion. Write a heartfelt reflection on what you just learned. Send a thank you message to someone who once helped you. Open your heart to someone you've been avoiding. Or simply smile at a stranger on the street, as a sign that kindness still lives inside you. Every small act, if done from the heart, carries the energy of Jupiter. And that is how you invite blessings, by becoming a source of light yourself. Write in the comments, I will act each day because my soul deserves to bloom. Because action is the most beautiful form of prayer. You don't need to do everything at once. You only need to begin with one honest, gentle step. Because ahead of you, a great door is waiting to be opened. The sacred gift God placed within you long before you were born. I will help you look again. What sacred talent lies asleep within you? And why what you once thought was your burden in life may actually be the gift your entire bloodline is waiting for you to unlock. Because sometimes just one spark you awaken today could save a soul in your family on a not-so-distant tomorrow. If you're still here, if you've walked with me through every word, every breath of truth, then I believe this. Your soul is awakening, and it's beginning to remember why you were born into this exact family, with a heart not meant to endure but to lead, not meant to blend in but to illuminate, not meant to be misunderstood but to carve a path never seen before. From the deepest place within me, I offer you my deepest gratitude. You, the one who burns like a candle in an ancient chapel, silently glowing through lonely nights, through winds of doubt, through cold denial. And still, you burn, to remind the world that light never fades when it is fueled by faith. To the one who chose to listen not just with ears, but with the heart. In a world that rushes by, your presence here, in this moment, is a miracle. And if someone deserves to be seen today, it is you. Leave this in the comments. I am the one who will become the unexpected. It's not just a declaration, it is a gate where your energy begins to echo through the universe. It's a signal that says, I am ready for the light within me to become the thing no one saw coming. If these words have touched you, if you saw yourself in these stories today, share this video. Someone in your family, the quiet one, the forgotten one, may also be needing a spark of hope to remember they matter. And if this video felt like a whisper from destiny, save it. Return to it whenever you doubt yourself. Because your soul deserves to be reminded of this over and over again until you believe it fully. And now, if you're ready to take the next step with me, we will continue the journey to uncover the sacred gift God planted in you before you were born. But before you leave, let us affirm this together. As a soul ritual, I am the light. I have returned. I'll see you in the next video, where you will not just be seen, but fully awakened.